Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of Sporting Max. But today we are joined by NBL legend. He's played for the Hobart Devils, Darren Smith. Welcome to the podcast. You look too much like Jason, mate. Welcome to the podcast, Darren. It's an honour to have you on. It's fantastic to have you on. How you going at the moment?
I'm doing well, Max, and thank you very much for having me. And don't feel too bad about that Freudian slip, mate. It happens every day. So very used to it.
Darren, I'd like to start off with sort of your childhood and what growing up was like for you and your sort of sporting and basketball family.
Obviously with my twin brother Jason, we played a lot of sport growing up, and mostly kind of football in primary school, and then starting into high school, we started some basketball with some friends, and we weren't very good to begin with, but we're good athletes. So over a couple of years of training and some specialist coaching, we improved a lot. And it was a rapid kind of rise through the ranks in juniors, and with plenty of one-on-one battles being fought out in our daily after school.
Now, Andrew Parkinson's told me that I think it was one of you boys when you were younger threw a bat and your dad caught it, I think maybe from going through a window. Is that right?
Well, there's a couple of smashed window stories. Unfortunately, Dad didn't catch the bat. I was playing cricket at school and and tried to go the tonk on a shot and accidentally let the bat fly as well, and it went through the principal's window.
Oh.
And so that didn't go down too well. But we unfortunately played a lot of sports, had a lot of accidents, and caused a bit of mayhem.
Now, how did you sort of make your way to be signed up by the Hobart Devils and play in the NBL?
I was good at basketball growing up, and then got invited to play at the NBL 1 level when I was kind of 17 at high school, and played well there. And then a year later, I got invited to fly down to Hobart to try out for the team. It probably wasn't playing the NBL wasn't like a goal of mine. I just happened to be playing well and just kept getting invited to different things. So the coach had heard about me through another mutual friend and invited me down, had a tryout, and I must have done okay because they offered me a contract. So then I signed and went down and started my NBL career at 19 years of age.
Wow.
The beautiful city of Hobart.
So can you take me through your first season in the NBL and playing with recent podcast guest Wayne McDaniel?
Right, yeah. So managed to play with Big Mac my first year, and which was a treat. He's an absolute NBL legend. And so it was good and bad. I think I wasn't very good, but the experience was great. So had fantastic teammates, a coach that was really positive, and and then for me the opportunity to play a lot. I think I was the sixth that first season, and so it was rapid learning, and fantastic experience overall.
So how did you find sort of settling into that Hobart lifestyle?
Yeah, coming from Melbourne, this big city, and a lot going on. I thought I might struggle with Hobart. It's obviously a lot smaller, but I really enjoyed my time. I think lack of traffic and the ease of getting around was I met my wife there, so there's a few absolute bonuses of Tassie life, apart from just being a little bit colder in winter.
Now, from your first year, averaging sort of around 13 minutes per game, to your second year and averaging 34 minutes a game, how did you earn, those extra minutes on court for your second year, and what sort of maybe work did you put in that off season to make sure you got those extra minutes?
Well, it was probably the first time that I'd really consistently trained at a high level, like every day. Playing the NBL 1, you train a couple of times a week, and I did my own weights and stuff, but never really knew what I was doing. So just stepping up that professionalism really helped, and I kind of just blossomed into the NBL. And my second year, I played well, and my body was a little bit, bit bigger, a bit stronger, and I was a tough competitor for a second year player. So I think the coaches gave me some confidence in the minutes I was able to play and starting. So and hopefully rewarded them with my effort, which it seemed like it was just a great fit, and definitely took advantage of it.
So then you went and played for Hobart in the state league. I think it was in 1998. What was that like? You're going from the NBL down, to the state leagues.
Yeah, so the Hobart team, the NBL team died in '96.
Yeah.
And then so that Hobart, like an NBL 1 team now, were the Hobart Chargers, their first year in that league. Look, I mean, again, it was a lot of fun. We had a stacked team because we had the NBL team just died, so we had a bunch of guys from that team, swing straight into the NBL 1 team, and so we won a lot of games. We were really good. It was certainly a lot of fun, and I was playing well, and managed to get seen again and get another opportunity back to the NBL.
So then, how did you get back to the NBL to play for the Sydney Kings?
Yeah, I think just playing consistently well at that level, and then being on the road in Melbourne and Sydney. It allowed NBL coaches to come and have a look at us, and maybe me particularly. So, and I guess I was blessed because the Hobart Devils coach Bill Tomlinson had taken the job at the Sydney Kings. So it was when he got the job, he called me and just said, "Look, we'd like to have you up here." So I followed Billy T to the Kings and got back into the NBL and enjoyed my time in Sydney.
So how did you find your time at Sydney, and then those times where you come up against your brother Jason Smith?
Yeah, Sydney Kings, we're a really young team. We had Matt Nielsen was really young at the time, Andrew Hare, some really big names in the game, but we were really young. So we fought hard, but we kind of made young rookie mistakes and stuff. But we really challenged for every game, and including the Titans that Jason was playing for at the time. And our rivalry hadn't really diminished from when we were trying to kill each other in the front. So that just extended to the NBL court. We tried to beat each other there. So it was great fun being able to compete against your brother. And for some bragging rights as well.
Then why did you decide to sort of come home and play in Victoria?
I think the opportunity to play with my brother and under Brian Goorjian was just too attractive to dismiss. I had a contract offer at Sydney, but to come back to Melbourne and back home, around family and friends that we grew up with. But also, like I said, to play with your twin brother is a pretty rare opportunity. So he, just wanted to take advantage of that and really tick that box. And that was probably some of the best basketball I've ever played. Goorjian's, unbelievable coach. The team was very professional. We had an unbelievable talent level. So it was really, really exciting and fun to be able to play within that group.
So I think it was the 2000-2001 season where you lost the semi-finals to the Townsville Crocodiles. Can you guide me through, that sort of semi-final series, where you can't get, obviously where you want to go to try and get the chip?
Yeah, it's super frustrating. You're getting so close. I remember that season we dominated. We had an unbelievable season. I think we won 20 games, but we had some huge injuries leading up into that semi-final series. I think we lost our point guard Darren McDonald, one of the best at the time. I think Anstey may have been out.
Yeah, he was, I think.
My brother, I think he snapped his patella tendon. So we lost 3 starters, and it was just such an uphill battle. losing that kind of talent. At a semi-final series, they were an exceptional team as well. So it was heartbreaking. But that's part of sport, is injuries, and you have to adapt and continue. But it was a well fought series. It's unfortunate we couldn't quite get there.
Well, then you went sort of a bit better that next season. You were the minor premiers in the 01-02 NBL season, but then still not quite getting to obviously where you want to go to the finals.
Yeah, I think we had a couple of key injuries again. So just the timing of that stuff is just really unfortunate. I mean, obviously the athletes never want that to happen, but again, that's part of being a professional athlete, unfortunately. So really unfortunate. Again, and just missing out. Like you can nearly taste it, there, and you don't quite get it. So really disappointing. But we live to fight another day.
So how did you sort of make the decision to retire from the NBL?
For me, like, I was still pretty young. I think I was about 30, and the NBL unfortunately was going through a tough time, and teams were kind of folding. Every year or so there was a new team that was not going to be around. So and I was getting offers for 1 year contracts in different cities and stuff. But I had a young family. I had two daughters at that stage. So for me, it just made sense to stay put. And then focus on a career after basketball. I would have loved to have played longer. For me at that point, it probably made the most sense to look at the next phase of life.
So how did you think when you saw your brother Jason win a championship with the Sydney Kings in 2005?
I was bittersweet. It was bittersweet. I was really happy for him. I mean, I've always been a big supporter and of him, and being able to enjoy seeing him achieve everything he's achieved. So it was great to see the Kings finally get there. And for him to have a huge part in that was really satisfying to see. But obviously, I would have loved to have been there. Having made that decision to retire and move on. They're the kind of moments you kind of think, oh, should I try to really stick around for 50 years? But no, look, it was really great to see that outcome.
Playing in the state league once again from 2005 until 2008 for Waverley. How did you find that's sort of the back end of your basketball career?
Well, I mean, that for me, coming back to that kind of level is just really about enjoying the game. Still being competitive, but not really having the drive to do it at that professional level every day. I'm still playing with some good people, good coaches. Played with a bunch of guys that I've played with or against for a long time growing up and in the NBL and stuff. So it really scratches that competitive itch. Allows you to continue to play the game at a pretty good level. I still love the game, and it still ticked a few boxes for me.
What's it been like to watch your daughter Alana Smith play in the WNBL and for the Opals? And do you get more nervous, I guess, when you're watching her or cheering for her than when you played?
I think like when she was first starting to come through the ranks and perform really well, I used to get quite nervous for her. But now I'm pretty relaxed. She's been around for a while now. She's been through all the state system and then the junior and stuff, and then at Stanford at college. So we've been able to share a bunch of basketball experiences with her, and really try to provide as much support and guidance along the way. So I don't get that nervous anymore, but still love to talk to her about her game and things that she can do to continue to improve. And to be honest, like to see her play and achieve the things that she's been that she's achieved so far has been probably more satisfying than my own career. So really it's really exciting that all these kids of players are coming through, and you get to see them all perform so well, and that is really satisfying.
Now you used to work for Red Dust, which for those who don't know was a charity for Indigenous youth, where they would go on trips with the NBL basketballers and sportsmen to the Northern Territory and give back to the kids up there. What was that like for you?
It was a life-changing opportunity. I didn't know much about Aboriginal Indigenous Australia until I had the option to travel to a remote community in the NT, I think back in '97 or something, with the guy who started it, named John Van Groningen. He was a good friend of mine, invited us, a few of us, to go out bush and deliver basketball clinics and just talk to kids about what being an athlete was like, the choices we made as far as those healthy living decisions, and I just fell in love with that part of Australia and the culture, people, and I just learnt so much. So it really impacted me deeply, and I volunteered every year while I was playing to do it more and more. And then when the career finished of basketball, I kind of slotted in. I did a couple little things first, but then slotted into full time with Red Dust, and being to spend quite a lot of time in those communities and support the young people there.
Now, what's it like for you to be obviously back in Tasmania now?
Yeah, we moved back during COVID. Made the decision before COVID, but we were stuck in Melbourne a little bit. But yeah, being back around all my wife's family's here, so it's really nice to reconnect with them at a more consistent level, and see my youngest daughter, Andy, hanging out with all her cousins and stuff down here, and we're really lucky. We've got a beautiful house and on the water, and we're lucky as well because Tasmania hasn't been too impacted too greatly from COVID compared to Victoria and some other states. It's worked out very well for us so far.
Now, so what's it like for you to watch the Tasmanian Jack Jumpers come into the league for their inaugural NBL season? I think it's 25, or I think it's more than that year since the Hobart Devils were last in the league.
Yeah, it's really exciting. I think I went to the first game, and just sitting in the stands and kind of just it really took me back to the time that I just cherished. I really loved my time, and just seeing the guys on the court playing. They played really hard. The crowd just embraced it. It was really exciting for the city, for people that enjoy the game of basketball. We get to see the highest level being played here in the NBL. It's an unbelievable level of talent. So it's everyone wins. It's fantastic. And I'm excited for them. I think they can do some good things in the league.
Now you currently work for Basketball Australia Pathways, and help get Australian kids into college in the United States. Who have you helped get into college, and what does your work or job title consist of?
So we basically help athletes and families kind of navigate the recruitment process to college. We've been around for a few years now, so we would have helped probably a couple of hundred kids. Just understand what the process looks like and how to do it. Including like a lot of the kids that have been at the Centre of Excellence in Canberra. Some really exciting prospects that coming through the junior ranks that go to college and then transfer into becoming professionals and playing for Australia. For us, it's really satisfying to be able to help those level of athletes, but also those people that maybe aren't going to play for Australia but are still looking for to develop their game and the experience of playing in the US. They may not play at a Division 1 school, but just at a junior college, wherever it might be. That's just as satisfying to see people, enjoy the game and really utilize the game for what the opportunities it can bring. So it's exciting for us to be able to talk to coaches over there all the time that are interested in playing athletes and try to connect the dots there. We really enjoy it.
So what players have you helped get into college so far?
Well, I mean, it started with my daughter. Like we went through the process with her and really learnt, a lot of lessons with her. But look, there's been way too many. There's been literally a couple of hundred. But look, we're really excited. We think the US college pathway can do unbelievable things for athletes. There's basically two ways you can go. You can either stay in Australia and utilize the system we've got here, or do what a lot of young athletes are choosing, is go to the States and try to find the right fit there and continue their game. And so, we're just trying to do our best to connect those athletes and families to those appropriate programs.
What would be your best advice to anyone who wants to be a professional basketballer and be successful like yourself?
Practice. It's a lot of work. And I think a lot of athletes probably underestimate how much work they should be putting in. You look at the best athletes, whether it's juniors or in the professional ranks. The best are usually putting in a lot more time and have an unbelievable work ethic. So that's probably something that it took me a little while to work out, like how to improve. And it's focused training, and it's just a commitment to time. It takes a while, it takes years. So those that can commit to that kind of level of intensity over that period of time usually do really well.
Thanks, Darren, for coming on the podcast today and putting aside half an hour or so of your time to come and have a chat. It's been an honour to have you on.
Maxie, my pleasure, mate. Thank you very much for having me.
Thanks, Darren. Stay tuned, everyone, for some more Sporting Max.